Thank you, everybody, for coming to visit us at George Mark Children's House today. The mission of George Mark is to help children get out of the hospital and come be in a place that's really safe with extraordinary medical care. And one of the gifts of children being able to come here is that we sit on 5 beautifully landscaped acres, and it lets them get out of a hospital room and out of doors. For many of these children, a significant portion of their lives have been spent in beds in hospital rooms, and just getting out of doors is such a gift for them. Pieces that drew me to this kind of work and to founding George Mark was our own family's experience of losing 2 of my siblings who died when they were young. And it was enough years ago that there were no social services in the hospital, and no social worker came in to ask our family how we were doing, or there weren't music therapists. There wasn't anything more than the medical care that he needed, which was provided with great love and caring, but it really didn't wrap its arms around us as a family. It is named for my brothers, George and Mark, and every day that makes me smile. We've been open for 14 years and have had a chance to really follow many of our families with their chronically ill children. We've observed several positive outcomes of the care that children receive here. One of which is fewer visits back to the emergency room, because their families know that they can call us, and also because we spend a lot of time helping parents become comfortable with the complex care that their children need, so they go home with a greater sense of confidence, and they're able to care for their children at home and not feel that they need to go to the hospital as frequently.
Hi, my name is Dr. Joan Fisher. I'm a pediatric hematologist, oncologist, and palliative medicine physician. I'm the medical director of the George Mark Children's Home. The services we provide at the George Mark House are very basic. So there are times when a child goes into the hospital, can come out of the hospital very different than when they went in. And families need to learn how to care for machines that they didn't have beforehand, or the way their child is different than when they went into the hospital, or sometimes they're born with conditions that they are not expecting. And the hospital can often do a very good job of teaching families how to use equipment, how to do it with their child, but then they go home with equipment that's very different than what's in the hospital. And we do what's called transitional care, so they can come from the hospital to the George Mark House. And yes, I'm calling it a house and a home. It's not a hospital. And although we do have 24/7 nursing, being in a room is very different than being in a hospital room. And the nurses here are fabulous at facilitating that parent's ability to care for their child. Another aspect of pediatric palliative care is called perinatal care. So often women who are pregnant will know when a baby's in utero that there's a problem. As a palliative medicine physician, I often become involved with families in that situation. And what we at the George Mark House can do for these families is sit down with them and talk to them about our services here. This is a place where children can come and be normal. They're not in the hospital, they're not under the same pressures, but they can get the same kind of symptom management and relief that they get in the hospital, but in a home-like setting. Another aspect of care that we provide at the George Mark House is end-of-life care. Some children end of life have very profound palliative needs. They can have pain, they can have symptom management, and they can be afraid, as their whole family can be afraid. So we do very meticulous end-of-life care, and can be very important for a family to process it in a way so that their grief is not complicated later on. But in order to give that family, again, the ability to put their head down on the pillow every night and say, I did the best I could for my child, and this is what our staff excels at, is really holding families up, providing that sacred space to allow families time to be with their child I watched a family talk about the death of their child, and this mother talked about coming from the neonatal ICU, bringing her child here and walking through the front door, hearing laughter in the background, and she was so struck. She thought, how can people be laughing when my child is coming here to die? And after the experience was over, she realized my child came here to live.
Thank you all for coming to see what we do at George Mark Children's House. We tried to give you a virtual tour, but we'd love to have you come for a real tour if you'd like to see this very special place in its gorgeous setting. For more information, you can go to our website. We just are happy for families to know that we're here and ready to take good care of their children.